Well, Auburn, congratulations on your overall placing at the state range ID competition in Brookings this past weekend. Talk a little bit about the state championship, and it set a high standard. What motivates you and prepares you to go compete and come home with first place?
What motivated me was, first of all, my teammates, because I think we all worked really hard and we all really wanted to win. We put a lot of time in and coming here. And yeah.
Okay. Range judging takes a lot of technical work. So, what specific skills or areas did you really focus on to improve this year?
So learning the characteristics was a little bit difficult for me. So what I did is we had a slideshow of I think there's 105 plants. So I just kept going through the characteristics over and over again. And also, like I said, we studied a lot. We had practice twice a week, and we came in here and we put in a lot of hard work.
So, at the state competition, how many actual plants did you have to identify? And then, do you got to tell me if it's a perennial or annual, or what do you have to do?
So we had 50 plants, and then we had a minute for each plant, and then you have to say if it's perennial, annual, or biannual, if it's cool or warm season, and then if it's desirable or undesirable for grouse, grouse food, and cattle food.
Very good. So, looking ahead, Auburn, if you were to talk to some of the freshmen or eighth graders coming in, how would you tell them to prepare to come home with a first place title?
What I would tell them is really the key things to just study. It's not just going to come in your brain. You really do need to learn it because it is a lot of plants and it is a lot of hard work. But I think if you study and then you learn characteristics of the plants, I think that'll help you.
Very good. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations, Chloe Cammack. Sixth place overall finish on the state range identification at the Brookings State Convention. Talk a little bit about how you prepared so well to come home with a sixth place title.
It was a lot of studying, just practices, and then also a lot of times I couldn't make it to practices just because I do rodeo as well. So just studying at home, studying on the bus. I studied with my partner, one of my teammates, Auburn, a lot on the bus. So just constant studying.
What do you think was the key to your team's overall performance at the state competition?
I think we had a really good team dynamic. We studied a lot. We just had a little competition with each other. We always talked about the plants, what we thought we got wrong, what we got right, just characteristics, just being around each other a lot.
What specific skills does it take, and did you focus on to be really good this year?
Probably just characteristics. When I was studying my first time going through, I really worked on characteristics first before I worked on the perennial, biennial, and knowing those was really what put me onto the A team originally.
If you had a freshman or a sophomore come up and ask, I want to be following your footsteps, what would you tell them?
Definitely to study all the time. That's why I was doing food science last year, and it's so hard to study. There's nothing really to study, but for range, you just have specific material that you need to know, and so it's just easy.
Did they tell you at the end of the competition to place sixth overall? Did you miss just one or two or three or four? Any idea?
I've no idea. I know I got I think 5 characteristics wrong, but I think I just got a couple of plants wrong, which I know I for sure got alfalfa wrong, but
most common plant here in western South Dakota. Very good. Well, congratulations, Chloe, on an outstanding performance. Sixth place overall and first place for the team. What a great job.
Thank you so much.
Ian Cammack, congratulations on placing third overall at the state convention in range identification. Talk a little bit about the competition and how it went for you.
It's when you actually get to the real deal in state, it's a little bit more nerve-wracking. A lot of these other events, they're not timed. You can take as long as you want. But when you get to state, it's 1 minute per plant for 50 plants. So it gets a little bit harder and you get a little bit more nervous. But in the end, I was really happy with how I did.
So, like I asked the previous Chloe, do you know which, did you get several plants right or wrong? Or how to get third overall, you must have only missed one or two?
Yeah, usually you can see there's a website we look on to see how many plants we got wrong, but it just showed your score overall this time. I know I got a couple plants wrong, but I think overall for characteristics I did very well.
Good, very good. Talk about your team overall's performance at the state competition. You went in as a team, and you all have to place fairly high to bring home a first place.
Yeah, so I'm very happy with my team, and it was just great to be there up on stage and listen to everyone placing so well. And I think if basically anyone would have placed any lower, we wouldn't have bring home the state title.
It's awesome. What specific skills do you really focus on to bring home the trophy?
So I grew up in agriculture. I already knew a lot of the plants that we've been studying for several months now. So I really focused on characteristics, and I think in the end that helped me a lot to place so high.
Great. How did you work together as a team during practices? You had to be some competition between you to stay so competitive?
Yeah, one of my favorite things to do in practices was have these mock contests where our advisor, Mr. Holben, sets out 15 plants, and we just go through them and see who can get the most right.
Well, congratulations on your third place overall finish and first as a team. Quite an honor and very impressive. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
We're here today visiting with Jackson Cammack, the newly elected state president for the Future Farmers of America at the state convention in Brookings this last week. And first of all, congratulations, Jackson. Quite an honor. As far as we know, maybe the only president from Sturgis. Maybe there might have been one some time ago. So what an honor. Very impressed. So we haven't had multiple officers, and this year we have Ella and yourself, Ellie Storm, and yourself being two officers on the board, which is really cool. What does that mean to you personally as the new state president and to your chapter?
Yeah, well, having two state officers from the same chapter is really unheard of. This last state officer team actually had two from Lennox-Sundstrom, but before that, it's a very rare feat to have two officers come out of a chapter, and to be able to do it with someone that I've experienced my entire FFA career with is very special, and it means the world to me. It was a unbelievable experience, one I'll never forget, and I really hope I can bring the organization my due diligence and pride with how I do as president.
Jackson, congratulations. I mean, what is your main goals or priorities as a state officer this year?
Definitely to continue building on alumni relationships and just student relationships as a whole. The alumni is really where it hits home. You know, it really works as a good source of fundraising and a good source of connection to community for students and outreach opportunities as well. And I want to continue to grow the alumni organization within the state.
How are you going to make an impact on the FFA members all across the state of South Dakota?
Well, your name is pretty well known everywhere across the state in FFA, and that's one thing I can try to improve upon is really get a good connection with all the students and try to reach out as much as I can, make as many connections as I can to students, advisors, chapter members, and communities across the state.
Jackson, talk a little bit about the process leading up to be elected. Yeah, I assume you had competition. Talk a little bit about how it went at the state convention this year.
Yeah, it was a really nerve-wracking process. There was 19 candidates that went out this year. That was a really big class of candidates. And we interviewed 2 weeks ago at the Dakota Wesleyan University campus. So you have to wait 2 weeks to hear the results. And they have you stand in a line, arms around each other, and they call them off one by one, working up the line. So they start at Sentinel, then go reporter, secretary, or treasurer, secretary, vice president. And at the time Ellie was called for secretary, I had pretty much given up. I was like, oh, well, you know, it was a good try. Yeah. Then vice president goes by with Aiden Clavon. And then to hear my name, it was just, I went into a panic attack and didn't know what to do. It was an unbelievable experience.
How was your time in FFA, especially in Sturgis, help prepare you for this leadership role?
So when I was a freshman, I was a very shy individual. I was very not outgoing by any means. And over the course of being an FFA in high school, it has grown both my ability to be an outgoing individual and my leadership skills as a person, just changed my mindset on everything in that area.
Talk a little bit about the younger FFA members and students that want to get involved. How do they get involved, and what encouragement would you give them?
Yeah, so the best way to get involved when you start as a freshman is to be in an ag class, which I Not sure if it's required in high school anymore, but you will probably be put in a high school or in a high school ag class at some point in high school. And the other thing I'd recommend to younger individuals is do the creed. That's a freshman only opportunity, and I did not do the creed when I was a freshman, and I regret that severely. So take advantage of that opportunity for sure.
You'll be traveling quite a bit, and I think I saw somewhere that you received a scholarship to SDSU. Is that what are your future plans?
Yeah, I'll be attending college at South Dakota State University for either a precision ag degree or an animal science degree with a minor in range sciences. And yeah, me and Ellie both got awarded scholarships at state mine was from Raven, an ag tech corporation on the east side of the state. So that should help quite a bit with travel costs and such.
Very good. Well, congratulations and best of luck to you. It's pretty exciting to have a president right here from our Sturgis chapter.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, congratulations, Ellie Storm, on being elected the State Secretary for the Future Farmers of America at the state convention last week. Talk a little bit about the convention and being elected to secretary.
Well, first off, thank you. State convention, it's an amazing time. It was 4 days this last week, and there's 2,300 members there, 2,800 members, guests, and advisors. And it's just an amazing, surreal moment when you go and you see a flood of blue jackets. You get to see how big FFA really is across South Dakota and how impactful it is on young leaders and advocates for agriculture. So it's just, this year was really surreal. Jackson said earlier today that every single year you step away from state convention, you don't think it can get any better, and every single year it still continues to. So it's a remarkable experience.
Ellie, talk a little bit about a family member that's also been involved on the state level.
Yes, my brother Ben, he was the Sentinel 2 years ago, and he's the person that got my family into FFA. We have not had any FFA members in the past, and so Ben and I are first generation FFA members. He started here at Sturgis. He was on the officer team. He got me into FFA. He pushed me to do my contests, and then he ran for state office, got his office, and then pushed me to do my state office, and we're here now.
Very good. Talk a little bit about your goals and priorities as secretary, as a state officer this year.
You know, as a state officer, I really look forward to making those relationships with the members across the state, not just in Sturgis, not just in my district, but since we do travel so much, we get to meet a lot of people from everywhere. And I really look forward to valuing those relationships and helping people find their passion for FFA, for agriculture, and connecting with those people who don't necessarily grow up in agriculture. I also look forward to helping the district divide of West River between 5 and 8 because we are such a large district. There's 2 of us West River, 6 districts East River. And so I really hope to help kind of communicate between the districts and grow the relations throughout the state.
How has your time in FFA, especially here in Sturgis, helped prepare you for this leadership role?
Yeah, Sturgis really is. It's kind of bittersweet coming to the end of the year, the end of my time with Sturgis here. Definitely won't be the last time I'm in this ag room helping with the Sturgis FFA activities because it hits so close to home. But ever since freshman year, I helped the officer team because we had a smaller officer team that year. And so I helped them because my brother was on the team. And then I got elected a role my sophomore year. And ever since then, I've been on an officer role here at Sturgis. And I've been able to work with a lot of amazing teammates, a lot of Mr. Holben, Miss Jensen, now Eckberg. They've all been very impactful on my FFA journey, and Sturgis is where it started. Sturgis is where the passion started, and I just hope to take that passion into South Dakota FFA.
What message would you give to the younger FFA members here at Sturgis or across the state that are thinking about getting involved and pursuing leadership opportunities?
You know, FFA, I've always said it, no matter what you want to do in your future, FFA is going to help you. It's going to help you become a better leader no matter what your background is. And there is a spot for everyone in FFA. And I live in Somerset. It's not a big agricultural area, but I am still involved in agriculture and I'm still involved in FFA. So don't count yourself out from FFA and get enrolled in an ag class. That's where you start. That's how you become a member, and talk to your ag teacher. Mr. Holben's great with freshmen, and we love to see a big freshman class. This year it's our biggest since I've been here, and so it's really exciting to see the new minds.
Congratulations, Ellie. And we look forward to seeing what you can do as Secretary for the State Office of the Future Farmers of America.
Thank you, guys.
Stran Holben, Sturgis FFA Advisor. Talk a little bit about the state convention. You had 30 members competing across 8 teams. Talk about the state convention and how our teams did.
Yeah, so this is the most kids I've ever taken for state, so that's been really fun to grow the program. Like I said, 8 teams, they all competed and it did well.
Stran, let's talk about the team members that placed in the top 10.
Perfect. Yeah. So in our range team, we had 2 placed in the top 10. Chloe Cammack got 6th, and Ian Cammack got 3rd overall. And we also had Natalie Yates place 10th overall in livestock evaluation. So very proud of those guys.
Talk a little bit about our chapter here in Sturgis. 2 state officers. From what we know, maybe the first president. We're not sure. What an outstanding honor to have 2 of our local members become state officers.
Yeah, absolutely. They're incredible. Jackson and Ellie have been here from the start. I came in as they were sophomores, and they were some of the most influential members, even at a young age. They always stepped up, always did whatever I asked, and they went above and beyond. And to see them succeed at the chapter level and the district level, they were district officers this last year, and to get them both at the state level is absolutely incredible. Like you say, I don't even know if we ever had 2 from Sturgis, so very proud of them.
Very good. Let's talk about the 4 chapter members that received state degrees. Jackson Cammack, Ellie Storm, Alexa Cermak, and Chloe Cammack all received their state chapter degree.
Yeah, yep. So they've been working on those since they were freshmen. They start with their Green Hand degree. It's the first basically big award they get as an FFA member. The next year they get their chapter degree, and then by the time they're a senior, if they've completed their SAE project and all the other things that go into that, then they get to go across stage and get their state degree, which is a huge deal. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of them went on to get their American degree next year as freshmen in college.
Talk a little bit about the overall convention. 30 kids in Brookings, that's a full-time job for you.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I'm a little sleep deprived, but we made it. So, yeah, we left on Sunday, just got back on Wednesday. They keep us busy getting kids running around, making sure that there are contests on time and nobody's got the wrong jacket or the wrong name tag. There's always some of that going on, but it all worked out and was successful.
Talk a little bit about the range judging team. You back-to-back winners in last year in 2025. We had Roloff, Cammack, Storm, and Rhodes won the state competition. So you're really generating a culture here that for range plant ID, that's quite an honor to have back-to-back championships.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been so fun to coach these teams. I've had the pleasure of getting them to this point, and it's not really me, it's them. I can only get them so far, and then it's up to them to take the initiative and really buckle down and study those characteristics and those plants. And it's been fun to watch. One of my passions is range. It's what I went to college for, and so to be able to transfer that into them has been really fun to watch. The team last year that won, they've been able to mentor this team, and they're actually going to national land and range judging here in about 10 days in Oklahoma, and so they're not done with their range careers yet.
That's great. Talk a little bit about Jackson, the president, and Ellie, the secretary, on a state level. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, like I said, they've been incredible members over the past 3 years that I've had them, and we were just hoping they would both make it. I believe that they were both deserving, and I'm glad that the interviewers saw the same thing. I just can't say enough good things about them. Honestly, without them, our chapter would not be where it's at today. They've been such good leaders, and they promoted FFA. Everything from coming into class and talking to freshmen to actually this year going into the 8th graders' rooms at Stage Barn and trying to kind of get them geared up for FFA and let them know what it's about, because a lot of kids come in and they have no idea. And so they've been really, really good at promoting our chapter.
Talk a little bit about your year-end banquet that's coming up here pretty quick.
Yeah, so May 13th, we've got our end of the year banquet. It's just a time to celebrate and, let the community know what we've been doing this year and thank the community. We have so many people that help coach and help. We put on a CDE contest every spring, and a lot of people come in and judge that. And so it's our way of saying thank you and to kind of give back to the community as well.
Congratulations on a very successful year. 2 state officers, back-to-back titles in range ID. FFA's got it going here in Sturgis.
Thank you so much.